Hi, I'm Craig. Film Joy, living in England, and yeah, I just want to say I've got no regrets. I've got no regrets about what has transpired here tonight. The nearest I come to regret is the fact that Tyler watched this film online rather than having to like pay $50 for a Sharpie inscribed DVR direct from Neil. I mean, that would have been like the icing on the cake, but I don't think I'd do that to you. I don't think I'd do that unless I knew there are other ways of accessing these.
All the shit we've done to each other, that is the one thing he would have never forgiven.
Yeah, I'm not.
No.
T takes his collection way more seriously than anyone else I know.
He doesn't even have cover art with his films. It's just a blank jewel case with a DVR that he's written the title of the film on. He is so like, fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, I got your money, fuck you. It's beautiful in a way.
Oh, it seems so on brand, though. It really does. I'm Tyler Hosley, and I just want to give a little shout out to my boy Wes Anderson. You ain't so bad, bro. My apologies.
Yay!
Oh, we really did break T this week. Oh, damn, dude. That I never thought I would hear you say that.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth. Not gonna lie, a little dry heave came out, but it's okay because we're covering two Breens this week.
I mean, those like meticulously crafted sets are a little better than, just getting backgrounds of in some sort of like package that you bought for like 20 quid online. Oof.
I'm Dave Gray, and I learned that there are some jokes that even I think are too far. This might have been too far. I'm not sorry, but it might have been too far. And this is Raiders of the Podcast. Yay!
Yay!
I didn't watch much this week. I spent most of my time goofing around on Twitch, doing a little streaming. So if you haven't played it, the new game from Don't Nod called The Lost Tapes, Bloom and Rage is out. It's the first part of its two parts. Tape 1 is out now. Tape 2 comes out in, I think, April. It is excellent. Y'all should go play it if you game at all. If you liked Life is Strange, it is. I don't know if I'm going to say it's as good as the first Life is Strange, but it's the best thing Don't Nod has done since that. It is excellent. T, dude, you will be so into this. Heavy Stephen King vibes, heavy 90s vibes, and you get to spend it with a quartet of charming baby lesbians.
Yeah, I added it to my list when you were talking about it. It sounds fucking amazing. So
big, yeah, total wreck. And if you're on, if you have PlayStation Plus, if you got the PSN subscription, it's free on that right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's in their games collection, not the monthly games, but the normal games collection. So download it if you can, give it a play. It is awesome. Besides that, I watched Love Hurts, and Love Hurts is a bit of a mixed bag because I really like the cast of Love Hurts. I love Ki Huy Kwan. I think he is a fantastic performer. He's always entertaining. I really like Daniel Wu when he pops up in shit. He's great. Really happy to see his, career still working over here, especially after Into the Badlands. I figured after that he'd just go away because we're not great to minority actors in the States. Even Marshawn Lynch is fine in his role, and Mustafa Shakir. I'm doing it off memory. I'm sorry that I hesitated on that name. I should have remembered it because he's also awesome. But while the fights are an absolute blast, the script is terrible. It does not, the connecting bits and the whole romance angle all around just does not work. And it's a shame. It's a shame. There is fun to be had. So if you just want a stupid movie with fun fight scenes, it's fine. Unfortunately, when it's looking at the other stuff, it's really underbaked. It really wastes. It really wastes Ray's Darby. He has a small role in it, and it really, really, crap. It really wastes. I'm brain farting on people's names. It's gonna be one of those fucking days. Leo Tipton, that's it. Because she's adorable, but it totally wastes her. It just wastes most of the cast, and it really needed a polish or 7, and it didn't get them. So instead, we got like this half-baked film. The fights are still fun, so that's all I wanted. So I got it, but I'm just gonna wait for Ke Huy Quan's horror movie that's coming. I'm hyped for that, and eventually force Tyler to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once. That might be sooner than later. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Well, I haven't seen that either, so yay.
Oh well, shit. Then that might be much sooner than I was previously threatening.
I have it sitting here on Blu-ray unopened, so I'm down whenever. I went to the theater and I saw Captain America: Brave New World, which is the absolute definition of just complete mediocrity. It's just one big nothing of a movie. I mean, you're pretty much just paying full price to watch an episode of Winter Soldier and the Falcon in the movie theater. And I saw this in like fake IMAX, so I had to pay like $16. So yeah, it's boring. The action is really fucking sloppy, and it's got like one semi-decent 5-minute set piece at the end. Mackie is usually great. I love Anthony Mackie. I think he's fucking awesome. But he's really blah in this. Ford isn't great either. He's just... Now, Ford's different, because Ford just seems like he's too old for this role. And I love Harrison Ford, but he just seems like he's way, way too old to be playing this role. I know it was played by, what's his name? He passed away. William Hurt. And I think William Hurt is a better fit for this character. I understand why you have to recast. He passed away, so...
And to be fair, Harrison Ford's been too old for every role for 20 years now.
No, it's true. He has. I did love him in Force Awakens. He did feel like the Han Solo in that movie, but that was 2015. That was a fucking while ago already. Here, he just seems like he's really old, and it's kind of sad to watch, to be honest with you. But if you're really going for the Red Hulk stuff, if that's what you want to see, it's all over the fucking posters. He's on screen for maybe 5 minutes, and I am like highballing. It's probably 5 minutes of screen time. That's all you see of the Hulk. Just go watch Winter Soldier again if you want like a great MCU movie, or the first Joe Johnson movie. That's great too. I would say skip this unless you're just hardcore. You want to see every single thing the MCU puts out. Like I love Marvel. I am a Marvel fan. I always have been. But the MCU has been just complete mediocrity for years now, which is a shame because people eat this shit up, and it's just there's so much better comic book movies out there than this. So, but whatever. It's cool to see Anthony Mackie getting a lead role. I guess it's a shame the movie is just a mess. And
people kind of act like Iron Man was holding the MCU together, and that's not it at all. Captain America was holding it all together. That was the best casting and the best character in the whole MCU, and I think it was all on his shoulders. And when he left, it just kind of.
Well, they were the only ones where they actually played against formula, because Winter Soldier's a old school spy flick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has the fight scenes, but there's more to it. Civil War on most of that film, but everything up to the bullshit here's everybody fight was solid stuff.
Civil War really gets Cap right as well. Like he's just a righteous dude. Like I thought they were going to fuck up Captain America, and they did not. It's the best thing that they did. Yeah, the only things they really got right.
Yeah,
it should be very easy to get that wrong.
Yeah, Chris Evans is great as Captain America. Like he's wonderful.
It's incredibly easy to get that wrong. That's why there's so many Cap derivatives who don't stay Cap very long. Oh well. Yeah, I'm curious when they're going to start doing recasting, because there could be some really fun choices to play Steve in the future.
I'm just waiting for the X-Men movies to come out because
no.
I I know it's gonna be like
They're gonna fuck those up.
I love X-Men so much. It's like one of my favorite Marvel properties. I just I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be rough. But judging by that Fantastic Four movie trailer, if it's anything in quality of that, I'm down for it.
It won't be. X-Men needs to be a TV series.
I'm down
for it. It needs to be done in a like a soap opera way where there's like 2 episodes a week for 20 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. They might do it with odd characters like they have now with, the second tier Avengers, but they're gonna throw money at X-Men.
Yeah, but they're gonna do the same thing they did with everything else, where instead of letting the characters be themselves, they're gonna make them not Iron Man. That's where Doctor Strange got fucked up. He's Iron Man, but with magic, and that's not Stephen Strange. It's where they fucked up with That's just where they fucked up fucking Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man, but with only Iron Man gadgets. Ha ha ha. No. Ugh. They undercut everything for fucking Iron. And Iron Man sucked. I said it. First movie was fun. 2 and 3 sucked butt. And not like in a fun romantic way. In a you forgot to wipe and have diarrhea way.
And I remember really people seem to really like Ben Kingsley, the twist with Ben Kingsley. I don't like that. Don't promise like this huge villain, even if he's like a dodgy villain. Don't say, we're going to give you this killer villain and just give us just Guy Pearce. Just Guy Pearce in a suit. Just, ugh.
Yeah, then they doubled down because I think Marvel's biggest misstep was Shang-Chi. Because they could have done something really fun. In the first, I don't know, maybe half is fine. I like the cast. The fight scenes are fine. And then it just becomes your normal CGI mishmash. I don't even know what the fuck was going on in the last 20 minutes of that. It was just like some ugly CG that was vaguely blob-shaped.
Yeah, I haven't got that far. The last one I watched was... Shit. It was probably Endgame. I don't think I watched the second Spider-Man, and I haven't watched anything since, so no, that's it.
I've
Endgame.
Only watched the second Spider-Man and since... Yeah, no, I gave up even before Endgame came out.
Is the second Spider-Man the one where they all came back?
Yeah.
Okay, I watched that one too. That one was fine. But, yeah, that one was
Now, that was the third Spider-Man, wasn't it?
No. Wait, was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
you're right. The second one is when he goes to
Gyllenhaal.
Europe.
Jake Gyllenhaal one.
Yeah. That one was fine. I like the third one, but only because everybody else was there. And they still fucking wasted Sandman. 20 fucking years later, they still fucking wasted Sandman. Jesus, guys.
We're about to have Iron Man Doctor Doom, guys. Iron Man Doctor Doom. Can you believe it?
No. I do
horrible.
believe it because the executives are dumb enough to think that that'll work, but Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have it in him to play Doom. And I said it, and I know people disagree with me because folks think he's a better actor than he is, but he's a fucking ham who has no seriousness in him at all. And all his dramatic roles kind of suck. Like a lot. Yeah. He's a terrible choice for Doom.
I love him in Natural Born Killers, but that's not a dramatic role. That's a comedic role.
Yeah, and it's also 40 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
It's like
back then, I really enjoyed his performances, and I just that one just really stuck out for me because he goes for it.
Oh yeah, he definitely does.
Everyone does in that,
but he hasn't for so long.
Yeah.
If Doom needs to be a grand operatic villain, someone who can just see the menace, and that is not Robert Downey Jr. at all.
Nah, I'm with you. What's his character called in Tropic Thunder?
Oh, I don't even remember.
Maybe he could play Doom.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he can be a dude playing another dude again.
Well, that's basically what they're going to do. Because there's no way that's going to be Final Form Doom.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. Well, even if that was their plan, people have made it very clear they don't want that. So they're probably retconning that as we speak.
Everybody's gonna be wishing for Dr. Christian Troy Doom again. Everybody.
No.
I love that Doom. I love that Doom. I love that movie, but I loved him as Doom. He was just playing Dr. Christian Troy as Dr. Doom. It was awesome.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah, we kind of got off track.
Yeah, this is badly timed, but do you guys remember way back in the day? Do you remember Classy Like Kevin?
I do. Yeah.
Yep.
Back when Kevin, before we broke him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm bringing it back this week, and it's a really, really badly timed revival because Kevin is not here. But I'm bringing back Classy Like Kevin, even though Kevin's standards have really slipped with all the Neil Breen films and John Swab films he's watching all the time that he loves so much. I watched Preston Sturgis's 1941 satire Sullivan's Travels.
Oh, you did get classy. Fuck.
I did, and I loved that one. That's a banger. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm just Joel McRae. Joel McRae and Veronica Lake are just fucking perfect. Like, I hate the word banter because it has been twisted into something awful these days. But the banter in that film is impeccable, and there's some really smart storytelling that I really wasn't expecting. It's got a great story that moves forward by moving in circles and beating the protagonist in the head with the same point over and over till he gets it. But which is really, really, really smart writing, and then it's just really funny and really smartly written for the first 2/3, and then you get the third act, and it takes a real sharp left turn into, I guess, what I think a 1940s Tyler film would look like. Like, it goes dark, and I really, really, really like that. Like, I think it's ahead of it. It was probably ahead of its time stuff, but it's inspired an essay I've started called Preston Sturgis's Sullivan's Travels, and how it preempted my hatred for the movie Spotlight, because I hate Oscar bait. Spotlight is not the worst, but it's just one I focus on when it comes to how much I hate Oscar bait and how kind of icky it is. And Sullivan's Travels knew the sort of Oscar bait that we had coming, and just made a great fucking film about it. So yeah, I really like that one. No, you seen that? Dave?
Yeah. Ovs.
It's a banger.
It is a banger.
T.
I have not.
Honestly, I am shocked by that.
Third act.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a really good. It's a really, really fucking smart film, and I thought it would just be, funny, funny screwbally banter heavy comedy, but it gave me a lot to think about. I was thinking about it for a couple of days when it finished, and yeah, I really like that one. And then I kept it classy with the, I'm not sure when it came out. I'm going to say 1951, 1952, around that time. I watched Marty, which should have been, the first of 100 Oscars for Ernest Borgnine, but it's his Oscar-winning turn, and yeah, I adored that as well. That film melted me. I have never in my life seen two characters show such vulnerability to the point where there is drama in every syllable of every word, and every look that they share is kind of loaded with drama, and it was really, really beautiful. And Borgnine and Betsy Blair, fucking outstanding. Like, the supporting cast are really good as well, and they're really important roles to play. And it feels really authentic. I'm not sure if it's authentic because I know, movie New York rather than real New York, but it feels very New York. And it's just it's very sweet, and it's very funny, and it has some really genuinely profound things, I think, to say about, family and legacy, and the fact that it can take a great deal of courage to put yourself out into the world, and you can risk a lot of a lot of pain in that way, but it's you hope that it's worth it. And it's a really, really beautiful film. But Ernest Borgnine is just he's fucking beautiful at it, and I'm really glad. I didn't realize he had an Oscar for Best Actor, and I'm just really glad he had at least one. Like I say, he should have had another 99 on top of that, but what can you do? You see Marty?
Yeah, of course. It's Petty
Yeah.
Chayefsky.
Yeah,
Good stuff. For the record, I think it's 55.
55. I
It's
knew
also-
it's somewhere around there.
It's also the first movie with fucking Jerry Orbach.
It was a great fucking movie. I'd really like to know what Martin Scorsese has to say about it, because I want to know what Marty thinks about Marty, and it's obviously it's a very New York movie, so I'd just like to listen to him talk about it for just a couple of hours, because I could listen to Marty for that long. Yeah, that's it this week. Just the 2 films, but they were pretty classy, don't you think, Kevin? I don't know if he's giving you his watches for this week when he sends in his recorded audio, but
He usually does.
Won't be as classy as my choices this week.
He's the only one that remembers what he watched when he sends in his recordings. Usually, not always though. So we'll find out. And if he does, it'd go right here and I go, Kevin, what'd you watch this week?
I didn't watch many movies this week. I was worn down by the Breen experience, but I am near the end, finally, of the one and only season so far of The Penguin, which I have been enjoying. I am keeping up with Severance, which I've been enjoying, and I'm sure there's something else, I've just gone blank. Anyway, movie-wise, the main one to mention is Wolfman, the take on the classic werewolf movie by Lee Winnell, who co-wrote the screenplay with his wife, and it is absolutely awful. I mean, it's Winnell's weakest film by far, and it doesn't hold a candle to the likes of Upgrade and The Invisible Man, films that were removed from an ongoing series, if you like. I know The Invisible Man is an IP that they wanted him to work on, but it certainly was also a standalone film, the way it used the concept. He tries to do this again with Wolfman and absolutely fails, in my opinion. It's a low-level body horror movie, but the characters aren't really sketched out enough for you to care. It's all set mainly over one night, and there are some, I think, slightly confusing strands that are supposed to explore perhaps familial bonds and the strength or weakness of those, and also masculinity, perhaps toxic masculinity, in relation to how people deal with perceived threats, as well as the ongoing issue of communities that don't really open themselves up more to the outside world for help with a problem that can be literally killing its members. There are some interesting things there that could have been wound around the central plot, but they're not done well. The film is not good. The effects are atrocious. The makeup and practical effects. I think that many people saw a model. It might have been a NECA model. It might have been something else that kind of revealed Wolfman designs. It might have even been at a Haunted House of Horror event. I know people weren't happy, and then were told that that's out of context from the movie. It's not as bad as all that, and there are things that will be done. No, it is as bad as all that. The only thing to praise is the sound design, which is a pretty fantastic soundscape throughout, and moments that show some of the transformation phases, if you like. I think there's some good stuff that zooms in on a hand getting to crackle and warp as it turns into something more lupine. So that is it. I do not recommend Wolfman, and I just really want Leigh Whannell to shake himself off and get on with something just like that he has a much better grip on. Put this behind him, move on.
This week, we watched a 2-pack of Neil Breen films. His final 2 films thus far, 2018's Twisted Pair and 2023's Cade, The Tortured Crossing. I still don't get that fucking title. Tyler?
Yes.
We should probably take them in order. Would you like to tell us about Twisted Pair?
You mean how my balls felt watching this?
Yeah.
Twisted Pair?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, or we could just describe both at once because they are like connected, and we'll just freestyle off that. But you do how you want to do.
Okay. I'll start with Twisted Pair. It's fine. I think the movie's about identical twin brother, like who become they become like hybrid AI entities, but they're like torn in different directions to achieve justice for humanity. I think that's the plot. Okay, I'm gonna be really, really mean here for a second, like meaner than me having to watch my 18th Wes Anderson movie. So my take on Breen may be wrong, but this is just how I personally feel while watching Neil Breen cinema. So if it sounds like I am insulting you, not you guys, but if it sounds like I'm insulting Breen and the fan base, I am, but in like a nice, you can like whatever you want kind of way, but I'm still insulting you. Anybody that says they enjoy Neil Breen movies, they're fucking lying. Like, I straight up refuse to believe anybody would get a single drop of enjoyment out of anything this fucking guy makes. I mean, there's nothing fun in like the ironic, so bad it's good kind of way here. Just nothing. Neil Breen isn't making The Room 2.0. It's a fake, bad cult movie that for some reason people keep chasing. I've said this many, many, many times on this podcast. I don't understand why anybody would ever want to watch this nonsensical, like incoherent garbage. 70% of this movie is shot on fucking green screen, and the other 30% is him doing like drag and drop teleporting or like sneaking around high school science labs and spewing off dialogue about biological mutant warfare. What the fuck does that even mean? Who knows what that means? Neil Breen doesn't even know what the fuck that means. I promise he doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying listening to you talk about it. That's how much I enjoy it.
I'm glad someone gets enjoyment out of me suffering from these. I mean, there's nothing sincere here. I don't think this is some labor of love. I really don't. And if he truly does think he's making some kind of art, and I really don't believe he does at all. I think he makes this shit because he knows these weird ass fans will desperately eat it up while pretending it's fucking hilarious, while in reality it's just really just unwatchable, boring garbage that shouldn't be allowed for public consumption ever. I really hated this, like a lot, guys. And it's not even the worst fucking movie we watched this week. How is that possible? It's not even as bad as Cade, The Tortured Crossing, which will be coming up shortly, I guess. So I hated this a lot.
I mean, it will, because there's not all that much to say about either. But
written and directed by Neil Breen, who also did pretty much everything on the movie once again, apart from the catering probably, or maybe he even does the catering and supplies people with noodles and cup of soups. Dave and Craig thought it would be hilarious to drop this on Tyler and I, a Neil Breen double. It's not hilarious. The joke wore thin a while ago with Breen, and it's now really clear that on top of his ongoing incompetence and his refusal to invest anything more into his own movies and his own creative learning, all we get now is regurgitated nonsense that has AI added to it, but is otherwise pretty much exactly the same as his previous film and the film before that and the film before that. This is awful stuff. Breen explains the plot what little there is of it in a really drawn-out opening sequence. He's okay, and he has a twin brother who has facial hair who isn't okay. He sees a woman and asks her for a date. That doesn't go well, and then he gets to her house and they have a fight, but it's revealed that they already know one another and are in a relationship or married. So what hijinks they had, then they're into drugs. Then there's a drug dealer going about causing problems. Neil Breen at one point walks through a bit of stock footage from an army video or a shooting game and can freeze things and change things. It's truly awful in a life-sapping way. Like, it's no wonder I was so tired this week. I just had to message the guys and I say I can't make it, and I immediately passed out after that message. It was late on a Friday night after a week of early shifts at work, and I apologise for the short notice, but that was it. I think that's the Breen effect. They're so tough going. I think I got the slight gist of this one being a riff on material like The Man Who Fell to Earth in a way, but that was me looking really hard, like looking at the film under a microscope and probably putting more effort into that than Breen did with the script or the direction or visual effects or anything. Like, it's awful, and everyone should avoid it. And hopefully we've now watched all of the Breen movies when we cover the next one on this episode, because I would be happy to never watch a film from him again. They're not so bad, they're good. The early ones had that vibe. This is just absolutely stinkingly awful throughout.
Okay, so if you didn't know, because he kind of glossed over it, there are twin brothers who were taken by the entity. I don't even know what the fuck it was. God, maybe, who made them super. And yeah, it's dumb as hell. The thing is, I don't think Tyler's totally wrong in his views on Breen. I don't. I think, Breen is very much aware that he has an audience for what he makes, but I do think that he actually has something he wants to say. The problem is he's a fucking idiot, and he doesn't know how to say it. Because if you watch his movies, there's recurring themes and there's recurring motifs that I think he really is passionate about protecting the earth and cleaning up political corruption and making a better world for tomorrow. I think he really does believe in these things. I think he's very passionate about it. The problem is he is just not the person that can tell any stories at all. And he shouldn't be. But he keeps trying, and I respect that. Has he become a bit of a parody of himself? Yes. Especially later. But I do think there is a legitimate, actual, underlining need to say something behind Twisted Pair. Of course, Neil Breen is broken, and his ego has exploded because all his movies are also about how he is the savior of mankind. Not the character he plays, but Neil Breen himself is the savior of mankind. I really enjoy a lot of this one. I think I love how they maximize their use of, I guess it's the Las Vegas Community College. Because 98% of the actual shots, they're either in Neil's own house, in his den with its wet bar, or they are in this school, in the halls, outside of the main building. And here's the thing. I have said it before, and I know Tyler doesn't believe me, but I really appreciate let's go put on a show energy, and Breen has it in spades. The thing is, I compared Breen to one of Tyler's favorite going filmmakers in our chat, and I meant it. They are both guys who tell their story over and over and over, and they don't do it very well. The difference is one of them has connections and has worked them to, further his career. And the other one does it all out of pocket. And I have more respect for the guy that does it all out of pocket. Personally speaking, I see why Tyler hates it. I do. I get it. I get it, man. But I think at the heart of it, like the fact that Neil has just like the big bad's plan was to make Sword Art Online. He named his character after the first Assassin's Creed player character. I get dorky reference vibes off so much that happens, and I just think Neil's a big old dork who wants to tell his story, and he's just not competent enough. I loved Twisted Pair. I think its heart is very much in the right place, and it is a parade of well-intended bullshit, and I love it. I do. You might think I'm lying, T, but I say this.
I don't think you're lying. I was just angry, but I don't think you're lying.
I was just hurt.
Yeah. I think it's kind of a shame that he's not more talented, or that he refuses to grow and learn. God knows, Cade is
moving
not
backwards a little now.
Cade is not a growth spurt. The thing is, and I think Tyler got it right. He knows that there's an audience for it now, and it went from a guy making movies about what he wanted to talk about and Twisted Pair really starts to do it, and it does it a lot more in Cade, but where it just kind of becomes Neil redoing the scenes they talk about the most on Reddit. Like, he cuddles with Blue Screen Eagle, but like he didn't even bother to match up the shots. And he would have, like back when he was making I Am Still Here Now, or Fatal Findings. Like he would have taken the time to do it. Cade kidnaps 3 bankers in this. But like he doesn't
Cale does that. Cale does that.
Oh, Cale does it. I'm sorry. Please, whatever. Cale was the interesting one. But Cale, like, they don't even bother to make sure that, like, the chain noose is hanging up right on 2 of them. They just kind of throw it, like, it's really kind of, he does phone it in more in this one. And in the next one, it's even worse. But there's an extended fight with the CGI tiger because, again, he did that in another one. And I know folks talked about that scene a lot because I was one of those people when it was new going, oh my God, did you see that? And why was there a white tiger there? Just because there could be. It's a recurring motif. And when it gets to this point, he knows it is. He knows that's what people expect. So it's 5 minutes of him wrestling with a CG tiger.
Well, has he just paid for that effect? Does he own that now? And he needs to like milk another scene out of it.
Nobody fucking paid for that effect. Did you see how that fucking thing moved? He gave $10 to the kid that was still in the computer room after hours to spin those legs, and that was it. Paid for that fucking effect, please.
Oh, I bet you had to be careful around the library in that college at that time.
And you could see people who weren't, because there's a few times where there's just some poor schmuck in the background, like, what the fuck's going on here? My sister's been watching this currently running K-drama where they filmed a lot of it in LA, but because it's low budget, they're just stealing shots. And there's all these confused tourists in the background of crowd scenes. Like, as these two Korean actors just like run between couples while holding hands, and they're like, what the fuck is going on here? It's hilarious. And that happens in this. Just a lot less funny. They look more annoyed that, Neil's fucking in the library again. But I did enjoy this. I did. I wish it was more focused. I wish Neil knew how to say what he wants to say. I wish Neil's whole thing didn't come down to, I am special, chosen one from God. Everyone should follow me and I will save the world. But I wish he'd given the female characters a fucking name. Not one of them has a name. I wish there was a reason for the Judas moment, but it's one of those things where, again, Neil has a lot of passion and he has a lot of ideas. He's just not the guy to bring them together, and this is where it really shows. It's not my favorite Breen. It's no Fateful Findings. It's no I Am Here Now. But I still enjoyed this. And I recommend it to everyone with caveats. After you've seen Fateful Findings and I Am Here Now, it's worth a look.
But probably not alone. Don't watch it alone.
Not alone or sober.
Well,
yeah,
in a group.
In a group with some beers, maybe some shots, but don't make a drinking game because you will die. And I don't need that on my conscience.
Yeah, I'm very much in line with Dave here because this is my third favourite Breen film, which might seem like the most non-committal thing anyone has ever said, because his work kind of runs a gamut from what I think is the best bad movie ever made to RFK's Brainworms on film. Like, there is a lot of there's a wide spectrum. So third favorite Breen film could mean anything. I could hate it, I could love it. I actually wrote the notes for this film a long time ago because whenever I watch a Neil Breen film, I watch it twice. I watch it the first time for my pleasure, and I take my notes because I don't want to take my notes the second time. So the second time I watch it through Tyler's eyes. I imagine how Tyler is reacting to each and every scene, and it's a whole different viewing, but it's not one to take notes to because I'd just be like slagging Neil off so hard. I really like this one. I mean, as soon as he put twins in it, you know you're getting a real ego-driven vanity project. And I mean, that's what he always does, but like this is wild. This has got that Breen juice. I'd drink that as well if that was a brand. I'd drink Breen juice. I wouldn't ask any questions. I wouldn't ask any questions about the ingredients. I'd just drink Breen juice and probably get disease. There's just so much of what I like about Breen in this one. Like, I love that he is a visibly frail old man playing an invincible superhuman. Like, he runs away from explosions and leaps, and he takes little old man tumbles, and it's quite tense because you feel like each little tumble could be his last. It doesn't seem like he's indestructible. It seems like he is seconds from death, just constantly. The plot is nonsense, just villains with some vague tech word salad plan that only Neil can stop. I have no idea what the plot is in here. It's just something about programmable VR. And I think all virtual reality is programmable.
Yes.
I don't think there is organic VR. I don't think there are bushes.
Well, I mean, no, there's not.
No. So it's all programmable VR. But Neil heard some words about the technological things and just made some word salad and put some men in suits to go, oh, we're going to do evil things, and it's the usual like Breen nonsense. The supporting actors are the worst alive, as always. I assume that they're just being like whipped off camera by Neil screaming at them to just act harder, act harder. I don't know how you get actors this bad. I feel it must be just like he holds auditions and it's first come first served, and sometimes it's the guy delivering his Amazon parcel, and he just happens to turn up and he's in. He's in. You got the job, Mister. It's there is passion there, like Dave said, but there's also like a real slack attitude with other things. He is not trying with these supporting actors. Maybe he doesn't want them to like show him up. I don't know. The dialogue is bad, but it's this stuff works better in context. It's awful, but it's memorable and hilarious. I'll meet you here at 8 o'clock, and I've never had a beard. Just absolutely, it makes no sense until you watch the film, but it's kind of wonderful. I don't know how he was never like tased by campus security. How a man who sounds like Neil can just sort of like potter around the university campus, just screaming about never having a beard. There must have been like some incidents. I guarantee it. It's just too much just weird in this film. There's that elaborate rape role play which I didn't expect. There's a character whose moustache is drawn onto masking tape, which is put over his top lip. That happens. A drawn moustache on masking tape on a man's face. You got Neil Breen going undercover, and while he's talking to the man, he's trying to set up. His eyes are like darting around the entire room, so that we know he's up to something shifty. It's very much. I think it's not my favourite, but it's a zenith for him with the clip art and the stock video and the green screen. It's all gone full Breen this time. It makes me kind of sad because I feel like it's the last time I'm going to see his swimming pool do a cameo. I was like Leonardo DiCaprio in that pointing, the little meme with him pointing. It's like, yeah, Neil's swimming pool. I just feel like we're not going to see that anymore. But we still had Twisted Pair, and I had a blast with it. And it's my hope that there's a time in the near future where there's a nice kid who gets like a full scholarship to Harvard, and his parents bully him into attending Nevada State because Neil Breen filmed Twisted Pair there, and it ruins his life. It'll all have been worth it.
I'm sorry, Killer. That's.
I was thinking of Killer, but no. You can go to Harvard. You're not going to Harvard. You're not going to Nevada State. Nevada State is. I want to make a film about Nevada State College now, and how the Breen enterprise has affected things. Has it had no effect at all, or I don't know. I just don't know.
I kind of hope that there's at least one frat dedicated to Neil.
Yeah,
Sigma Pi Breen. Kappa Breen Kappa or something.
Should I just keep going?
Yeah. Oh, please.
Okay.
I mean, unless you want to make Tyler describe Cade, the tortured crossing, but I think we have heard him enough for 1 week.
Yeah, we've done enough. But that means I've got to do it. Okay. Cade for Tortured Crossing is apparently a sequel to Twisted Pair because a character who just looks like Neil Breen reappears. There's no connection really towards the first film. Cade is a man who has funded a hospital which he's never seen. He makes sure that you hear that he's never seen the hospital. He's not visited it. And then it turns out that the hospital is doing weird genetic experiments on people. So Cade runs in and tries and fails to save them. Yes, terrible film. Like I like Neil Breen. I enjoy his films, but not this one. like on the Breen scale, it's just the eerie sound of the bottom of a barrel being scraped for like 90 minutes. It is bad. This makes Pass Through look like I Am Here Now. And people who know Breen will know what that means. But there is so much wrong with this film, like objectively as a piece of cinema, but like subjectively as a Neil Breen fan, that it's almost impossible to defend. But I like a challenge, so I'm going to give it a go. Um, like as I said earlier, this is probably the clearest image you could ever get of the inside of RDK's brain. It's clearer than an MRI. This is what he believes is happening all over America, and we'll at least know what to expect when Trump fires him and hires Neil to take care of your medical needs. Um, it is it is evocative of a lengthy hospital stay. Like I spent about 6 weeks in hospital after my stroke, and I kind of I got that vibe. I got the boredom. I got like the repetitiveness. I got the like hearing the same person scream so much that you want to scream. So it did have like strong hospital stay vibes. I don't know why anyone would want that, but they were there. Um, it asks important questions like who is Gene and why are they editing him? I don't know. Uh, there's a lot of stock footage. There's probably the most blatant stock footage in all of Neil's career, and it kind of makes me laugh. It amuses me that the actors who appear in the stock videos, they may have had plans for the future, but not anymore. They're movie stars now, and they are the stars of some of the stars of Cade with Tortured Crossing. They're in this movie. We just They just did a little stock footage to earn some pocket money, and now they're in this movie forever, which is kind of crazy.
And cruel.
Yeah, really, really cruel. Like, what if they? What if they? Is that in their real, or is that very much not in their real?
Oh, it would be in mine. It would definitely be in mine. And I'd have the stock footage in it before, and then put the Neil just to see if anybody noticed.
Yeah, good idea. Good idea. Uh, oof. Uh, I mean, Neil gets hit by a tram at one point. I don't know why. I don't know why. It has no connection to the rest of the story. I think he had that stock footage. There was a tram in it. He thought, well, that's value. That's got to be up on the screen. I'm gonna get hit by this tram. Uh, it's kind of indefensible. I've tried my best, but it's so bad. Like there's a dance break in this film that kind of it briefly breaks up the monotony, and then it just becomes the monotony because it's too long and it gets very even that gets boring. Like Neil extends every scene of this like beyond sanity. It's like filler in filler in filler in filler. It's 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 insane. He has about 20 minutes of plot in this film. If I'm being really generous, and he stretches it over 90 minutes of pain, and there's so little thought given to everything. Like Neil, the limitations of his superhuman abilities change scene by scene. Like he can repair a car instantly by doing a creepy wink at it, but he can't break the same car's window earlier in the film. Why? He can defeat dozens of enemies single-handedly, like Matrix style in the first act, which is good. But then he forces like scarred hospital patients to help him in the end, in the finale. To, beat the same amount of enemies he beat up earlier, and they all get they all get beaten to death. All of these people he's been trying to help in the hospital, they all get beaten to death at the end, and Neil lets it happen. It's I don't know. I don't know what Neil's trying to say there. Like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, hospital bitches. Learn to fight. I don't know. Just I don't know with this one. I mostly hate it. I really need. There's about 5 minutes that's kind of tolerable, and it is kind of spaced out enough that I get the odd little chuckle. But Neil needs to course correct with his next film. There's too much green screen. There's too much filler. There's too much of that fucking screeching. There's not enough Neil. Neil's barely in this. I'd say about 30-40% of the film's screen time goes to Neil. And Neil's usually like front and center screaming, "I am Neil Breen." And he can't really be bothered with this one. And that's what makes me sad, I think. Neil can't be bothered. And I for the first time ever, I felt what it must be like to be a normal person watching a Neil Breen film. And I think that's what cuts me deep. It cuts me really, really deep, Neil, because you maybe not believe for like 90 minutes. And then the film stopped and I started to believe again because I love him. But he didn't give a fuck about this one, and that's the bad thing. And he needs to get his act together. Get your fucking act together, Neil. I stole this film. I will never, ever give you money for it.
And so we get to Cade, the Torture Crossing. I'm really out of anything to say at this point. Neil Breen is a shitty hack who doesn't make films that are worth discussing, and yet here we are trying to discuss his most recent films. So I hope Craig and Dave had a laugh. I don't think Tyler laughed. I didn't laugh. It's awful. These things should be piled up into the toilet of existence, flushed away, and then set on fire. Those ashes put into some satellite that is then launched from Earth and into the heart of the sun. I'm not even going to describe the plot. Is there a plot? Neil Breen is the plot. It's fucking awful. It links to Twisted Pair. I've wasted enough time on this. It was shit.
Jesus Christ. I really don't have much to say about this one. It just proves my case that Breen is nothing but a self-parody by this point. I mean, this is somehow worse than Twisted Pair. Worse than Twisted Pair, which is mind-blowing. It's worse than Fateful Finding. It's worse than that Now shit that, I don't know the title, but Now isn't the title. I just really didn't think it'd ever be possible. It's lazy, it's repetitive, it's mind-numbingly fucking boring. Pandering bullshit. I mean, Breen panders to his fan base harder than ICP panders to the juggalos and juggalettes. But the difference there is Insane Clown Posse actually had talent at one point. Before the gathering of the juggalos, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope actually had genuine talent. Unlike Breen, who was probably incompetent as a fucking real estate agent trying to sell the people of Las Vegas houses. He was a real estate agent, right? Before he was a filmmaker?
He was an architect.
Architect. I thought he was a real estate agent for some reason.
Oh, well, I'm sure he was that too.
Yeah, I thought I
all
read
the houses were just giant Neil Breen busts with rooms in them.
I can't imagine that, man.
I'm very bankrupt.
I just really can't imagine him.
Totally live in that house. Fuck, I would totally live in that house.
Oh man, I can just imagine Neil Breen as a fucking real estate agent trying to sell the poor people of fucking house, and he's trying to recruit them in, let's save the humanity kind of cult or something. It would just be pathetic. But again, I mean, the goddamn green screen in this movie, man. This was like 100% green screen, right? I mean, there wasn't a scene that didn't have green screen in it. This was 100% fucking green screen. Like,
he crashes his car in America. It rolls over 3 times, and it's in Austria.
I'm trying my hardest to erase this shit from my brain, but I can't remember a single fucking scene that didn't have green screen in this movie. So I don't know. It's like Neil Breen walked inside a Windows 97 point-and-click adventure game. It's the fucking ugliest shit ever. I mean, it's hideous looking.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Hideous. But I got nothing else. I read a review a couple days ago with someone calling this outsider art, and that's like the biggest fucking slap in the face to actual outsider artists. I mean, Breen's movies are an actual slap in the face to people who love movies, but calling this shit outsider art makes me taste like carnival hot dogs in the back of my throat, and I haven't had a carnival hot dog in like 20 fucking years. So yeah, this movie, man, it's bad. It's as bad as Twisted Pair. It's as bad as everything else Breen makes. But if you like Neil Breen, watch it. I guess I'm gonna try to be nice at the end here. If you like Neil Breen movies, you'll probably get something out of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll send you a disc with some Sharpie on there saying this is from Neil Breen. It's all yours. Take it.
If you like Neil Breen, don't watch this. Watch Twisted Pair. Don't watch this. You're gonna pretend this didn't happen.
Yeah, I like Neil Breen, and I did not like this. I don't. God, this was painful. Like, because he didn't even have anything to say like he usually does. Like, sure, Twisted Pair is dumb.
He might have done that. Sorry, could I just interrupt?
Sure, yeah.
I just remembered something I forgot to mention. I need to know if he's vaxxed, because this could very easily be an anti-vax screech for 90 minutes.
I'm going to look that up. Give me a second. All right, hold on. Neil Breen vaxxed.
This feels very the government are experimenting on you.
4 years ago. What's the single? Okay, hold on. Reddit. I don't know. I can't see anything about vaccinated. Okay, hold on. Let's try that. Okay, hold on. Neil Breen did an interview with the Australian government. This has got to be a different Neil Breen. This cannot be the same Neil Breen.
Maybe he crashed his car, he rolled over 3 times, and he was suddenly in Australia.
Yeah, I don't know. This has got to be a different. There's no picture, so I don't know. This has to be a different Neil Breen. This cannot be the same Neil Breen. Yeah, no, this guy is way too sharp and on the ball to be our Neil. So,
how will we know when Neil gets dementia?
Oh,
will we know?
Won't.
How many films will he release in the full throes of dementia?
You'll never know. Okay, I cannot find anything about whether Neil Breen has had the COVID vax or not. I don't know.
A valiant effort, though.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. What was it? Oh, right. Okay. Cade, the tortured crossing. So this one is about his AI twins who weren't AI because they were actual biological intelligences, but whatever. One's falling apart, even though we were told in the last movie everything had been removed, and it's just dumb, and it doesn't Twisted Pair didn't have a villain in it. It was just the bad guys. I'm the good guy, and they're the bad guys. There was no. It lacked the focus that earlier ones had. Like Fateful Findings, the villains are very much bankers and others. In I Am Here Now, the villains are very much. Well, there's a lot of villains in I Am Here Now. So I'm not going to shoebox them because there are a lot from a lot of different walks of life.
Indeed.
But there isn't in Twisted Pair, and Cade, the crossing is even worse because there's nothing in it. It's like a weird passing the torch, but he's not passing it to anyone. Cade is a non-character despite 2 films about him. The only person that gets upgraded is the girlfriend in this one has a name, which is the same name as the fucking bad guy. He could only think of one female name for the 2 female characters. Neil, this is a movie where someone does not give a fuck.
Mm.
And he gave so little of a fuck that he gave less than no fuck. I think he was comatose on set, and this is just some random people picking up the camera and making shit up on the fly. It doesn't have the charm or the touches that most Breen stuff does. This is just atrocious, and I hated almost after he got hit by the tram, which was fucking amazing. I hated, like, I don't know why the fuck that happened. He was late. He's rushing somewhere because he's late, so he got hit by a tram and just dusts himself off. It doesn't affect anything. It doesn't mean anything.
I just remembered another bit I liked. I'm really sorry about this, but there were little bits. Anytime anyone's a group of people in a car saying goodbye to them, they all press themselves up against the window.
Which is and it's all the same bits of him, the people asking for his help earlier. He just reused that footage 3 times. And twice they have to be saying goodbye to him.
Press your face up against the glass to say goodbye to Neil Breen.
Yeah, because that's the same. It's the same footage of when he first finds them. He's like, "I'll save you. I'll follow you." And I guess he's telling them telepathically, or he just forgot to speak. This is just, it's not fun. It's like, I didn't think I would hate one more than Pass Through, but I hated this more than Pass Through. I just, like, apparently Neil's working on his next one. He's going to be filming it this year, and he swears it's different from everything else, and it needs to be, because this isn't like self-awareness. This isn't anything. This is everything Tyler accused Twisted Pair of being. And if he'd said this about Cade instead of Twisted Pair, I'd have fully been Team Tyler on this one. I hated this. I hated every minute of it. I also stole it, Neil. And I will never give you money for this. I paid for all the others. I am hurt that you thought this was acceptable, Neil. Now, though, we get to do my favorite moment this week. I get to look at Tyler and I get to go, "Hey, Tyler, which was your favorite Neil Breen film this week?" And he has to pick one.
You know, it's just cruel that I have to answer this.
It is.
It's just straight up fucking cruel.
Sorry.
But I'll give it to Twisted Pair, I guess. I mean, it was...
Okay.
Fuck it. Well, yeah. Twisted Pair. I'm going to go with that one.
Now I'm going to ask you something that I'm also going Twisted Pair.
Fine.
So, Tyler.
Yes.
Now that you've seen all of Neil Breen's Au revoir, which is your favorite Neil Breen film overall?
You mean which one I would watch over actually like committing suicide? Let's see.
Yeah.
I would say for nostalgic reasons of old school Raiders of the Podcast days, I guess I'll go with Fateful Findings, I guess.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, that one.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. I just was curious, you know.
It's a classic.
Evil.
Definitely a classic.
Next week, though, we're changing things up because Kevin's not here. We're gonna do our yearly time to switch up picking partners. Craig begged to pick with Tyler because he likes easy wins, but not sweeps. So, Craig,
yes.
What do you have for us next week?
I'm staying classy, and I'm going with a 1945 psychological drama. Actually, no, you know what? I'm fucking not. Let Tyler go first, and then I'll be with you.
Well, I'm not staying classy. I need a good Tylerific palate cleanser after this week, guys. So guess what? We're watching another sex worker drama, Confessions of a Brazilian Call Girl from 2011.
Okay,
have you seen that one before?
Back in 2011.
All right.
Been a while though.
Just wondering.
Been a while.
I'll be staying classy. I'll be combating Kevin with my classiness. Well, I'll be combating Tyler this week, but I'm going with the 1949 William Wyler drama, The Heiress. I saw Martin Scorsese talking about it at length. I'm like, okay, that sounds fantastic. Okay. I'll reveal my because Kevin's not here. I will reveal my special next week along with my pick, and I will give you the option to pick yours.
We're on Instagram, Raiders_of_the_podcast. We're on Facebook, where I sometimes remember to post stuff on Wednesdays. Maybe Craig posts them on Wednesdays now too. He did a really good one this week. We have a YouTube channel where you can like, subscribe, and comment on Kevin's awesome videos weekly. We have a Discord where I post cock pics of all sizes daily. Or sometimes I post cock pics with photoshopped Neil Breen's hair on the top of the mushroom head. That's my new one. We have Neil a blue sky. Neil Peen. Exactly. We have a blue sky. And you can always email us at raidersthepodcast@gmail.com.
As always, thanks for joining me, guys. Thanks for listening. T, I haven't felt compelled to apologize before, but I do feel bad for Cade, the Tortured Crossing. I'm sorry.
It was a bit brutal.
Kevin was too drained to join us. too emotionally drained to attend this evening. Actually, you should apologize to Kevin.
Oh, I will. Kevin. I'm sorry, Kevin. That was Craig pitched the idea, and I went ha ha ha. And I hadn't seen Cade. I'd seen Twisted Pair. I had hope. Until I agreed, and Craig cackled and said...
And I knew what I was doing.
I made a devil's deal. I was a fool! A fool!
You did realise that I was dragging you into my evil ploy as well.
I knew. I'm not that naive. I'll talk to you next week.
Yay, I'll catch you next week, guys.
Good things might come to those who wait, not to those who wait too late. We got all we know, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Building big castles in the sky, just the two of us. You and I.